Today, I am roasting your YouTube channels, and I'm not holding back. I put a post up on the community tab and on my Twitter account asking for YouTube channels to roast because I just love talking YouTube. And if you don't know who I am, why is this guy roasting my channel? Who is this guy? I am Kevin. I'm the founder of Epic Gardening, which has about 3.5 million subs on YouTube. We have 2 or 3 other channels with 300,000 or 400,000 subs as well. So you guys wanted me to look at your channels, and I'm going to do it, but I want to do it to help you get better. So that is the context for the roastage that I am about to put in. So let's get into it, starting with HouseFresh. So the first thing I love is that there's a channel trailer right out of the gate that auto plays. I've got a clean logo. It's just the text, which is fine, HouseFresh. Then the brand name conveys what the whole channel's about, air purification. You've got a boatload of purifiers up top in the channel art. And the thumbs are brandable. I mean, you can tell this is a HouseFresh thumb as much as, you've got the brand colors, you've got a pretty similar style across the different channels. This is a review channel for the most part. And so I don't think you have to get too crazy, clickbaity, whatever with your thumbnail and title strategy. You just got to put the product in there. Is it a review? Is it an unboxing? And then you have to bait a question of some kind, like this Northbox 6L review, is it worth it? So let's take a look at some of his most popular videos. It looks like this style, which you could guess just going into this. When you look at review videos or tech videos, rounding up the best for a particular release year is almost always a strategy that's going to kill it. Now, of course, you can't really do that too many times, so you can't kind of milk that strategy, but maybe you could go into different subsets like best small air purifiers 2024 or best quiet air purifiers 2024, and you might be able to milk a little bit more out of a format like this. Next up, we have David Kadavy, who is an author. We follow each other on Twitter. What's up, David? Okay, let's take a look. 5,140 subscribers. And let's just take a look at views over the course of the last little bit. Not super strong here. And now something I'm seeing that jumps out right away, it looks like we have mixed content going on here. So it looks like he's got a podcast. Yes, he does. And he's kind of mixing that in with his normal content. And these titles also don't make a ton of sense, at least in the world of YouTube. They might make sense in the lexicon of what David is talking about, his body of work. But if you don't know his body of work, you're not really going to be able to figure out what exactly is going on there. And so let's take a look at his most popular videos. Oh, wow, 12 years ago. David, he's an OG. He's got making matcha. He's got doing your laundry in your sink. Now let's look at the stuff that's kind of closer to the work that he's putting out now. It does look like some of his podcasts have gotten views, but the very first suggestion I would make for David's channel would be the photos fine. I'd probably put a little more contrast around the face so the face stands out. I might shrink the face slightly and put a little more contrasted background. I'd take the opportunity to put some kind of text about what is David about when you land on this channel. Whenever you have a personality channel, put something on there that lets someone know, like, who is this person, right? Unless you're just a goat and everyone already knows who you are. And we might get to one of those later on in this video. So we've got a mixed content problem. A good maxim for mixing content on a channel is same audience, same channel. Different audience, different channel. So in my opinion, I would be having the David Kadavy channel with just this type of content, writing prompt, etc. And then I would be putting the Love Your Work podcast on a separate channel. We actually do this with our podcast channel called The Beat. So we would never put The Beat on our main Epic Gardening channel. This only has about 9,000 subs here. But you can tell we're getting some decent views on that sub count for this long format. But if we were to go ahead and put these in our main channel, it would do absolute trash because no one came to that channel for that content. Okay, we have Speed Golf Baby with Adam Lorton. Right out of the gate, nice logo, maybe a little complex for the, kind of shrunk down version that you'd see it on, but you've got a nice sort of channel header. I would like to say something a little bit more about like what's happening on this channel instead of just replicating the title, but hey, you've got something going on there. Let's take a look. 2,000 subs. I mean, this is a decent view count on that sub count for a starting channel. I think this seems decent here, and I don't mind the thumb strategy here. I think we might be blocking off a little too much of those words in the thumb, like blocking off a full letter and a half, 2 letters. I would probably just not do that fade behind look, but I think I understand it. This thumb in particular, I think is a pretty interesting one. It's kind of mimicking those like Jubilee style thumbs where it's like, you know, one secret black person with 7 white people type thumbs, like those types of like contrasted personality thumbs. I'm seeing super varying lengths on these videos. 2-minute video here, highlights, and then you've got a whole hour-long video here. Seems like a pretty engaging intro there. You got some music, you got some driving montages, little putt, the music syncing up. Oh, you get the music cut, boom, and you go into that. I mean, that's a pretty stylish intro for a 2,000 sub channel, I have to say. So it looks like you're just trying to play golf as fast as you can, I guess. And I would like to see more interaction in the video between the players, more drama, more dynamics. If you think about like the show Drive to Survive, it's not really for people who like racing cars. It's for people who like the people who like racing cars, right? And so I would add a little bit of that. But Speed Golf, baby, I'm optimistic. I'm bullish on the channel. Okay, we have my boy Jackie Chow from Indexsy. So out of the gate, just pick like Indexsy or Jackie Chow. I don't know that I'd go with the title Jackie Chow from Indexsy here. Being a marketer, you know Jackie's got that contrasted background on the photo here. The only downside to stuff like this is you look optimized. You sort of look like you're really trying to be seen, which is kind of counterintuitive. It's almost like dressing really fancy in loud clothing, like, you know, with the logo all over it, etc., versus sort of like quiet well. When you look at like, I know it's easy to bring up a guy like Alex Hormozy. When you look at a guy like him, look at the quality difference. If you're trying to optimize that logo, his looks more premium, even though it's kind of doing the same thing, right? Because he doesn't have this kind of white stroke around the outside. The colors sort of feel like they're hitting a little bit harder. He's got his brand right there. It's kind of nice. So if you're going to do that, I would try to class that up just a touch. It's a really small thing. I might say something about what someone can expect to see up in the channel. I honestly think that the thumbs that you've got going on, Jackie, are getting a lot better. If you scroll down, Jackie's thumbs were a lot more sort of crazy and like colors all over the place. And yeah, they are technically not like breaking rules on YouTube or anything like that, but you can tell like these ones, he's getting pretty much the same amount of views, and it is a style. It is a style choice that does kind of stand out. Black, white text, Jackie cut out talking. I might try to put him, I don't know, in the corner or something and try to make him stand out a little bit more. Let's go ahead and take a look at the content.
All right, guys. So I made nearly 300K this month.
Okay, so this is a pretty crucial one. So when you're doing an intro, all right, guys. So we're ready in a second. We don't need to say that.
I made nearly 300K this month.
So just come out and say that. I made nearly 300K this month. You'd be done in a second, but now we're ready at 5 seconds. So you go, I made nearly 300K this month. I think these are cool videos though. Like these are the type of videos I'm literally doing right now. I think with Jackie, it's going to be like simplifying these titles. I don't think you need like building a public day 376, etc. In that title, it's a very meaty title. So I'd simplify the titles and get really punchy on the intros and just keep on going because you're going to have a hit. Okay, this is our first bigger channel that we have seen. Dorian Develops. I think we follow each other on X. So what's up, Dorian? I like it. I like it right out of the gate. And you can start to see the difference between channels that are a bit bigger and channels that are smaller. Obviously, sometimes it's just takes time to grow. But, you know, with someone like Dorian, he's learned a lot of those best practices and he's doing them. And so he's got a nice clean look on his, you know, sort of channel page here. He's got really classic thumbnail styles like day 1, day 100. That's basically a progress sort of transformation type of thumbnail. Let's take a look at his videos and view counts. The views are somewhat low, I would say, relative to the channel size, but sometimes these days it could be because shorts are really going off. It's hard to say. Another thing I'll say about channels, and sometimes our channel can suffer from this, is like in our off season, our views are low out of the gate. And then a lot of those videos will pick up double, triple, even quadruple, quintuple the views by the time our season comes around. And so when you're in an educational space, if you're doing topics that have search value, so someone might type into a search box and find that video, it's okay, in my opinion, if the videos start out a bit slower. Because for example, you know, we just released a how to grow passion fruit video in pretty much December of 2024. Almost no one's growing passion fruit right now, but the video was done. I wanted to put it up. I know that's going to do well over a 1-2 year period. Good example of this is I had a video I did on growing corn. I like slaved away growing corn, took 90, 120 days to grow it, edited the whole video up, released it in July of 2022. It did absolute trash. 10 out of 10 on the YouTube studio, like what I call a deep 10, where it's like half the views of the 9th one. And then in a year, it had 750,000 views. The season just had to come. Now, I don't know if that's the case for Dorian, but let's take a pop at one of his videos.
In the past, I've been a little bit wishy-washy on whether or not you should learn WordPress when you're just getting started with learning how to code. And now with everything that's been going on recently, some people might not really be sure whether or not they should bother learning WordPress. So last week that
I think this is I think it's a decent intro. I don't know, is
why do so many software developers end up becoming entrepreneurs?
We got a typo there, Dorian. Come on, man.
No, there's some obvious reasons there, but I think that there's some other reasoning behind it as well that maybe isn't. If you want to be an entrepreneur by becoming an indie hacker, building your own SaaS products or websites that generate you.
I think this is a good, this is a cleaner intro, this one that we just saw, than let's say this WordPress one that we saw a little bit earlier here.
In the past, I've been a little bit wishy-washy on.
Like this doesn't come out with a lot of pop. It doesn't come out with sort of a strong statement, but then you get into this one.
If you want to be an entrepreneur by becoming.
You got that quick fade in. If you want to become an entrepreneur.
Indie hacker, building your own SaaS products or websites that generate you money, and you're learning how to code. And I've made a video like this recently.
So this is a thing that I can tend to do sometimes too. And I think, so we're 10 seconds in. Technically, he hasn't really finished that first sentence yet. So listen to it.
If you want to be an entrepreneur by becoming an indie hacker, building your own SaaS product.
So if you want to become an entrepreneur by by becoming an indie hacker,
or websites that generate you money, and you're learning how to code. And I've made a video like this recently.
Double and, like that's a double nested sort of sentence before we're getting to the end of it.
But I want to talk about all the things that just don't matter if you're trying to build your own. If you want to,
so you come out and say, like, if you're trying to become an entrepreneur by being an indie hacker, there's a lot of things you think matter. You probably saw on Twitter that, take it from me, don't matter at all. Right. And there you go. And then you can get into the meat of the video. I also think the title, don't say things if you can avoid it. Say like X blank blank, like, 7 wastes of time if you're trying to become an indie hacker, right? So this title can be spiced as well. But anyways, let's move on. Good job, Dorian. Okay, we've got my friend Tom, designer Tom. I mean, come on, he's a designer, so you know that he's going to have a slapper of a channel page here. I really like, this is probably my favorite one I've seen yet. Designer Tom, Design Matters. Same photo here, super contrasty. He's also got his own sort of design style in here, which I think is really cool. 156K subs. You can see what he's all about. Let's take a look at his videos. Wow, he's dropped 1. What a flex. So this is probably his channel intro.
Hey and welcome, I'm Tommy Gioco.
Okay, so it looks like his strategy is different. He is doing some streaming here, so let's take a look at his lives. Yeah, this channel is perplexing to me because where are the subs coming from? There you go. Roasting UI designs. Okay, well then, this is all you have to do, bro. All you need to do is take these shorts and extend them into long form videos and you'll just start absolutely destroying in views. I swear, like you could even just take the worst UI designs, compile them, run them in a 16:9 with a 9:16 right in the center, and that'll start to clap. I mean, these will do really, really well. So I'm gonna stop right there, compile your shorts into longs and make long form versions of your short concepts that get 21 million views. Okay, we have hit that bid here, and it looks like Tesla stock or stock in general. Nice contrasty photo here. Maybe smile, I don't know. Maybe do something, look a little more lively. But hey, maybe that's your style. Maybe that's your style. Maybe you're just a viber. So let's take a look at the views here. 22,900 subs. Okay, this is one of those like I'm riffing off the cuff style channels. You can tell every thumb is an intentional choice. It seems like to be unoptimized. So optimized for unoptimized, where you're just taking a screenshot from the thumb or using whatever YouTube suggests and just tossing it up. So let's take a peek.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a week, hey? Up the day close to the...
Okay, look, I love these types of channels because you don't have to do a lot to produce these videos. If you can master that style, then damn, do you have a lot less work on your plate. Don't have to optimize thumbs. You can just riff off the top of the dome. The guy who is the king of this is Charlie. I mean, Moist Critical is the absolute king of this. Penguin Zero. Take a look. You wouldn't ever think this is an optimized channel. It doesn't follow like the best practices, but he has 16 million subs and he can talk about basically anything he wants. His titles are super kind of weird and clickbaity, like he's getting gadooshed. Like what is that all about? Thanksgiving situation is crazy. He uses a lot of blank is crazy thumbnails, but if you click
Thanksgiving
on the videos,
is a one.
Boom, he just cuts right into it. He's just straight into the meat. And I see a similar style here with our guy Hit That Bid, because getting 10,000 views on 22.9 subs is pretty decent here. I would just work on continuing to refine and perfect that format and, watch the comments, see what people are responding to, amplify and delete sort of things that people either do or don't respond to. And you can just really crank. I mean, these types of videos, so nice if you can perfect it. We've now gotten to a legend, my friends, a legend of the internet, Ramit Sethi. I met Ramit like 13, 14 years ago now when I was a simple peasant in the world of online business, and fortunate to call him a friend today. So I Will Teach You to Be Rich. That's Ramit's book, his first book that ever came out and went bestseller. Of course, that's going to be the name of the channel. It's really a personality-driven brand. Ramit is kind of an iconoclastic figure. He says what he thinks. He has his own perspective. And so it makes sense to have him be the face of it. Something I really like, and you'll notice from a lot of these top operators, is this is real estate. This is real estate. It's free impressions, right? So anytime you can, you should be changing it to promote the thing that's most important to you. So he's got this Money for Couples tour, it looks like, coming out, and he's going to promote it. None of these dates have passed yet. Notice that. This isn't out of date. Let's take a look at his thumbnails and his titles. He is really leaning in to, I would call it maybe an elevated style of thumb in the finance niche. So when you look at like a Graham Stephan, who is one of the more legendary characters, he really leans into like kind of the fiery brimstone type of thumbnail, like $450,000 mistake, these big arrows going down, these emotions. And, Ramit does that, but not quite in the same way, not really as bombastic, which I personally appreciate in the finance niche. Everything is kind of like fire and brimstone. It's like you're going to go bankrupt, you're going to make $1 million. I've actually watched Ramit's progress over the last year or so. The channel was nowhere near 700,000 subs when 2024 started, and he's really been ramping up. And the reason for that is consistency, putting out a lot more videos, but also hunting down series and running these series out. So he's got a lot of really cool series that work that you can hit over and over and over again. So take a look. Money Expert reacts to finance TikToks. Actually, let's just look at his playlists and see what he's got going on. Oh, wow. I think the playlists haven't been optimized in quite some time. And it's really funny. I don't know if you even know this from me. In 2014, I helped on your channel optimize the annotations on your YouTube videos with a friend of mine. And I don't even know if you know that, Ramit. But anyways, it looks like the playlist may have not been updated since then. So I would fix those, Ramit. When you look at his videos reacting to the worst TikTok finance advice, you can see this. There's another one right there. So this was 2 days ago. This was 2 weeks ago. There's another one there. There's another one there. So in the last 2 months, fully 4 of his videos is basically the same video, just reacting to different things. Now, I mentioned on David Kadavy's channel how he's mixing his podcast with his sort of main content and how I don't think that is really the best decision. But if you take a look at Ramit's channel, he's able to mix that in. Why? Because he's playing with the format. So take a look at this right here. This is an hour, 20-minute video. It's a video podcast with Ramit in it. So take a look.
People want to help their own children.
This would run on Spotify or wherever you're listening to podcasts, but he's got all the video assets. So he's going to run it as a dynamic video, and you can just close your phone and listen to it as a podcast, or you can watch it. And something that's really nice is he post-produces this, right? So take a look right here. There you go. He's going to talk through their plan, but if you happen to be watching on video, you can actually see it. So you have to add value if you're going to dump a podcast on a channel like he is doing technically here, because he's getting extra value out of this media, because it's normally just be going to his podcast feed. I had a ton more channels to roast. I might have to do this as a series, but to leave you with 3 big nuggets. Number 1 is hunting for series or ideas that could become repeatable rather than one-off. Even if you have a smash success with one video, if you can't repeat it, you can't kind of build a content schedule or content calendar out. So hunt for formats and then milk those formats. The second thing I saw a lot of is you need to make sure that the audience that came to you is still getting what they came to you for. So if you start mixing in different formats, you just really need to be ruthless on if it's going to work or not on that channel based on the results you see. If it's not, you have to cut it. The third is I personally think that a super cohesive identity when someone lands on that channel is extremely underrated. You want people to feel like they landed at a real place. Like a home for the world that you're creating on YouTube. And so spending a little time getting the profile photo right, making sure you're using the channel header right, throwing a channel trailer up. That's something that we did to great effect last year. We did this Epic Gardening is Changing video where I announced some updates and then ran a new trailer for 2024. It got 500,000 views. It was super well received. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you want your channel roasted, throw us a subscribe right down there. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.